So it's the day after marathon day. As you probably saw from the race footage, I couldn't really speak much after the race. I was a little bit of an emotional wreck in a good way, and I just needed to take a minute, sit down, sort myself out, and then I met up with my family and everything. So I didn't really get a chance to do any more filming for the rest of the day. But what a day! What a day! As you could see from that footage, the crowds, everything was just amazing, fantastic. There wasn't really any quiet spots on the course. There was people everywhere. There were certain spots that maybe people were a bit louder than others. There were people with speakers blaring music from their balcony windows, people with drums, Jamaican bands, brass bands, choirs. Yeah, it was incredible. I didn't get much footage kind of after about mile 14 because at that point I really had to sort of dig in. But yeah, incredible. What a day. And look at the t-shirt. How good is that? I love this t-shirt. It's fantastic. Fits really well. Really nice feel to it. Love the design. I love the colour. Very happy. So how am I feeling today? Well, my legs are sore, obviously. Still feel a little bit dehydrated. I drank a lot yesterday after the race. I took electrolyte tablets and I thought I was alright. But then I woke up about 2:30 in the morning and I felt really dehydrated again. I don't know what it is. I think sort of my body had sort of taken on the fluids it needed and then it needed more. So I had another drink and I've had some electrolyte tablets this morning as well. I'm on the mend. I'll be all right. By the end of the week, I'll be able to run. I want to go to Parkrun on Saturday to obviously show off the shirt. Hey. So what happened? Let me explain. So the difficult thing with London is that the GPS gets knocked out all over the place with Strava and Garmin and that because of the tall scrapers and stuff. So the easiest way to break down the race is actually going to be looking at the splits from the official chip timing, because looking at around where I was doing Canary Wharf, it reckoned at one point I did a 7-minute mile, which absolutely did not happen. 7-minute kilometre maybe, but not a 7-minute mile. So the splits then, so 3.11 miles, I did that at an average pace of 10:33, which was bang on. I wanted to do basically around 10.5-minute miles. I didn't go off too fast. I kept it at a good, consistent pace. 6.21 miles was 10:36 pace, so again, a little bit slower, just pacing myself, all good. 9:32 miles, 9.32 miles, 10:35 pace, good. 12.43 miles, 10:33, halfway, 10:31 at that point. So again, it's all really consistent within 5 seconds, all those splits. 15.53, 10:33, 18.64, 10:36, all looking good. It got to around mile 19 and then, it was around mile 17, I think, that until that point I was feeling really strong. I was feeling really controlled. It all felt comfortable and controlled, and I felt invincible, to be quite honest. But I didn't let that make me go ahead and do anything stupid. I thought, right, you're feeling good, this is good, you just need to carry on doing this. Don't start being a hero and trying to speed up and get really fast. Then it was around mile 18. I actually caught up, not completely, caught up to the sub 4:30 pace, so I could see their flag in the distance. And again, I was like, right, don't be an idiot, don't chase them down, just carry on. That's a good sign that you're kind of a little bit ahead of schedule, but just carry on. So I did, and for a mile or two they did sort of disappear a little bit and I pulled them back in very slightly. Again, I was not consciously doing that at all. It just happened. Then we got to about mile 19 to, then about mile 17 it started to get a bit harder. I felt I was having to push the pace a bit more, in terms of I was having to make a little bit more of an effort to keep that race pace than I was previously. But again, that's quite common around that time. By mile 19 it started to get a lot harder, and then it just gradually got harder as we went along. So then by about mile 20, 21 I was struggling, and I was just slowing down, and despite my best efforts to try and kick on, I just couldn't maintain that pace anymore. I tried my hardest and it just wasn't happening. So then you got the splits: 21.75 10.49 pace, 24.85 was 11-minute mile pace, and then the final couple of miles was 11.06 pace. So yeah, it is what it is. The last mile and a half were brutal. I walked, not loads, but I did a bit of walking, and the last 600 meters was an absolute killer. You saw from that video I was blowing out my backside, for want of a better term. It was just so hard. I was shot to bits by that point. I could barely run. It was a very slow, awkward shuffle. The head was going. I was not in a good place. And I think I even walked some of that final 600 meters because I was absolutely done. No sprint finish across the line. I had absolutely nothing left. But you know what? That's okay. At the end of the day, the weather was okay. My strategy was fine. The training was all right. It was as good as it could have been. I didn't do quite as much strength work as I probably should have, and I didn't do all the runs. But again, it's just, life gets in the way, doesn't it? And I feel like I prepared as much as I possibly could. On the day, I did everything right. Took my nutrition and hydrated myself well. It just wasn't meant to be, and that's that's fine. At the end of the day, I didn't have a 4:30 marathon in my legs. I just didn't have it in me on the day. And it was a bit of a finger in the air target anyway, to be perfectly honest, because it'd been a year and a half since I'd done the last one. I'd improved a lot as a runner by then, but then I'd also got injured and was coming back from injury. But the main thing is, I had an amazing time, and I'm really, really happy with that sub 5. For me, technically it wasn't my A goal, but I was desperate to do a marathon in under 5 hours, and I did it, and I'm so happy. So in terms of, that's the end of this journey, the end of the London Marathon 2023 series. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's commented, liked, subscribed, and all that stuff. Just want to say a big thanks to everyone who's been watching along. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed filming it and making it, and it's something that is there for me for future to look at as well. That race day video, there was actually more race day footage than I realised, but by about mile 14 I just had to dig in and get it done, and I didn't want to keep messing around with the camera until near the end, obviously, when I was practically on my dying anyway. So what's next? Well, don't worry, just because this training block has ended, there's still going to be more stuff to come. I've got Colchester Half Marathon on the 21st of May, so that's what, 4 weeks away, is that? Let me check. Yeah, I've got Colchester Half Marathon, which is only 4 weeks away. So I'm not going to have a huge amount of time to get much training in for that, but obviously I'm just coming off the back of a marathon, so that's good. In terms of whether I've got the speed in me to do that in under 2 hours this year, I don't know. Possibly. I reckon I could beat last year's time, because I did Chelmsford Half Marathon in 2 hours 10? No, 2:09, wasn't it? And yeah, the course is harder for Colchester, but I think I could still do it. So I beat my time from last year. Hopefully get under 2 hours if I can. I'm not going to be able to taper or anything for it. I'm literally just going to have to go in, do a few weeks of training, and then just hit hit it and see what happens, I guess, really. So we'll see. I don't know if I've got that pace in my legs. So once that's done, then on the 28th of May, I'll be going away on holiday for a little while, which would be great, all nice, all-inclusive. So give me some time to rest and recover. I will try and get out for a run or two during that time, because I don't want to not do anything for 10 days, because that's not going to be good, especially in an all-inclusive resort. I'll come back the size of a house. And then after that, I want to work on my 5K time. So I really want to get quicker, because I think if I work on the shorter distance stuff, 5-10Ks, I don't really do 10K at all. That's something I need to look at. So if I do that, then I'll put myself in a good position to perhaps, increase my time on the longer distances. I've no real desire to do a marathon next year. I feel like I need a year off. I know I didn't actually do a marathon last year, but I trained for one and got injured a couple of weeks before. So it does feel that pretty much since June last year, all I've done is marathon train. And I have really, that's pretty much all my running is involved. So it'd be nice to, take a bit of time out, go off into the woods, hit the trails for a bit, and just kind of run for me for a little while, rather than having to do certain things, do some hill reps, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to do that for a while, and then work on the 5K time, get that down. So I'll probably, when I get back from holiday in a week or so, maybe do a 5K time trial, and then give myself a target to say, right, okay, that's my 5K time now. I want to change it to this, and I'll find a park run to do that at as well. I'm not going to do one of the Colchester ones because they are notoriously difficult. So I'll try and pick an easier one, maybe Marks Hall. So that's me done. Just want to say again, thanks everyone for your support. Really means a lot to me. Loads of lovely comments on Strava as well. I bumped into a subscriber on the day as well. So I just got off the coach, and then someone came up to me and said, "Oh, good luck." He said, "Oh yeah, I'm one of your subscribers." And I wanted to apologise. I didn't even ask what your name was. I'm so sorry. My head was just a bit all over the place, to be quite honest. So if that was you, please let me know. I think I just about managed to ask whether you were running or not, and that was it. I'm really sorry. Normally I would have had a little bit more of a chat with you, but I was I was very nervous, to be honest. I kind of felt like I had a lot riding on this race. So yes, sorry. But if you do see me again, please come up, say hello again, and I will try and be a bit more, what's the word? A bit more talkative next time. But anyway, thanks everyone, and I won't have a video next week. I think that will be going to take a break for a week, because I'm not really going to be doing any running. And we'll check back in. I'll check back in with a little bit of half marathon training, I guess, for Colchester. And if you did London or another race at the weekend, let me know how you got on. I would love to hear it. Anyway, take care everyone. Bye.